All right, so today I'm going to recap for the people who are not here, but rhombuses, rectangles, and squares, we're just going to concentrate on rhombuses. The essential questions: what's the same between them? What's different? Definition of a rhombus is a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides. That means, notice the picture now. I've added in details into my picture. Put down the same amount of tick marks on every side. So, properties of rhombuses. Fill in the blanks along in your notes. Properties of rhombuses. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. This is a different one. That's why I have it in a different color. All 4 sides are congruent. All 4 sides are congruent. What I want you to do is somehow highlight this topic. You can either write the word in a different color or put a star by number 2 or just, I don't know, color over all 4 sides. But it's not just opposite sides being congruent, it's all 4. Something else that is the same, so use your regular color. Opposite angles are supposed to be congruent. That's the same as a parallelogram. Consecutive angles are still supplementary. This is the same as the parallelogram. Again, it may be helpful if you put off to the side, like, what does it mean to be supplementary, or what does it mean to be consecutive? If you're not across from each other, then you're not the same. Diagonals bisect each other. That is still the same from the parallelogram. Alternate interior angles are still congruent. So these last 2, diagonals are going to be perpendicular. Whatever you did with number 2's description, I want you to do the same with this description. Diagonals are perpendicular. And corner angles are bisected. What I want you to do is, in that color that you highlighted with, I'm going to draw a picture off to the side, and I'm going to point to, so number 2, let's draw what may look like a rhombus. And number 2 is stressing that instead of just opposite sides being congruent, all 4 sides are going to have the same amount of tick marks. We're going to do the same with number 7. Diagonals are perpendicular. So if we have a rhombus and we draw the diagonals, meaning corner to corner, by the way, you can still use your same color, so that means where they cross in the middle, we'll have a right angle. Diagonals are perpendicular. And then showing how corner angles are bisected. Corner angles being bisected, it doesn't just mean alternate interior angles are congruent. It actually means, so if this piece alternates and is the same as that piece, it actually also means that the other sides are going to be the same measure. So there's a lot of 1 arcs, and then I'm going to draw a lot of 2 arcs along the other diagonal. All of these other 4 angles are going to be the same. That's what it means to have corner angles being bisected. You're missing something in your picture, so be sure you add it. All the quadrilaterals that we're going to attack are rhombuses, and we're going to find the value of the variable. So we're going to now really need to read the directions. It says we've got rhombuses. If I see the word rhombuses, I'm going to keep those special highlighted rules in mind. That all 4 sides are congruent, diagonals are perpendicular, and corner angles are bisected. And I'm going to try to keep in mind those pictures. So if I'm a visual learner, I'm going to try to keep those pictures in mind. If I'm a reading or literate learner, I'm going to try to keep those highlighted words in mind. All right, so here we go. Wait, which one's going to be it? So all four sides, these are sides. They're labeling sides. They're outside the figure. There's no degree symbol. So all four sides are congruent. Use your colored pencil for this. What I'm about to do is in my colored pencil, I'm going to start marking all four sides congruent right off to the side in my colored pencil. All four sides congruent. Then in regular pencil, I'm going to do the problem. That means 20 has to be the same as this expression. So I'm going to take that expression, 4x plus 8, set it equal to 20 and solve. So after doing the algebra, we do get x to be 3. We can also check that information. If you plug 3 into the expression, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 8, it does give you 20. Going back to what we put in our color, all four sides are looking congruent. Next example, we're going to decorate our picture. So all diagonals bisect each other. I'm going to use my color. 4x plus 2 and this 2x plus 14 will be equal to each other because diagonals bisect each other. That's from being a parallelogram.
Yeah, I had forgot how to say it.
And we will pick on the little guy. So subtract 2x on both sides. Subtract 2, if you haven't done it already. We're looking at x equals 6. Now, we're going to need to notice some things. Grab your color. Notice some things. First off, we have the crisscross in the picture. So we're looking for some sort of picture on the previous page dealing with diagonals in the picture.
Corner angles are bisected.
Corner angles are bisected. We know that for sure. So if this is 30, then that means don't mark this. Don't mark this. But Kiara, I'm glad. Ooh, accidentally said your name and it's going to be recorded. At least I didn't say your last name. All right. So, but you start going back to what's there. Corner angles being bisected won't help us figure out what x is because I'm now still at a stuck point like, okay, what goes there? So I'm going to back it up. Diagonals are perpendicular. Diagonals are perpendicular is the rule we're going to use. Reason why we want diagonals are perpendicular is when you start drawing diagonals, you also start seeing some triangles. So now that I've outlined that triangle, we're going to use the triangle rule. But we're going to use the 180 rule. So 30 plus 90 plus some number needs to add to be 180. So if we subtract by 120 on both sides, we do get 60. So we've got rhombuses. We're going to find the value of the variables, 7x minus 3 and 25. We're going to see. So if you're across from each other, you're the same. All four sides are congruent. So 7x minus 3 equals 25. And solve. So next example.
X equals what? 8? What's the last one? 4.
So opposite angles are congruent. They're across from each other and they're the same. So on this next one, we've got to figure out what to do. I repeat, they are not across from each other. So if they're not across from each other, they're not the same. We're going to have to add them to be 180. So if I'm going to use my color for the rule. Consecutive angles are supplementary. They need to add to be 180. We're going to start undoing it. I have full confidence in you to undo it, and we'll check with the answer up top when we're done. And there is no homework.